Our last rule, yay, for derivatives is what we call the quotient rule. So we've done one where we've had brackets to a power. We've had ones where we're multiplying. Now, quotient rule obviously is something when we're dividing. So, what's the rule for this one? Well, our two functions again, the first, fx and gx. And what we do here is our derivative, we take our denominator and it gets squared on the bottom. And then we derive the top one times the bottom. This time it's minus the top one times the derivative of the bottom. Now, with the product rule, it didn't really matter which one you derive first, the first or second function. With the quotient rule, though, it does, because it's negative here rather than a positive. So the top one gets derived first. If you can remember that you derive from the top down. So the first one you derive is the top one. Then you derive the second one. Some way to try and remember which one you got to derive first, and because you know there's going to be a subtraction. If it was plus, it wouldn't matter, but its subtraction does, the order does matter. So derive the first times the second minus the top first one times the derivative of the denominator. So that's what that rule is, the quotient rule. Okay, because we're dividing two functions there. So you've got to remember to put it in that order there. So some questions, what do they look like? Well, 4x plus 9 over 3x minus 5. Well, what does we do? We take our 3x minus 5 and we put it in the denominator and square it. We get 4x plus 9, derive that. Gives us 4 times the denominator minus the numerator function times the derivative of the denominator. Now, this one we can expand out. If it's easy to simplify, then simplify it. That's fine. If the expansion is going to become long and very complicated, just leave it. Okay. Very rarely we expand the denominator, so leave that as squared. But you can. This one's not too bad. We can expand. We get 12x minus 20 minus 3 times 4x gives us minus 12, and minus 3 times 9 gives us minus 27. They clean up, and the 12x's cancel to give us minus 47 on the 3x minus 5 all squared. So that cleans up not too bad. So just be careful. Just be careful with those. 6x minus 8 over 2x plus 9. So take your 2x plus 9, put it in the denominator and square it. 6x plus minus 8, derive that, gives us 6 times the 2x plus 9 minus the 6x plus minus 8 times the derivative of 2x plus 9, which is 2. And then expand our functions. Expand it out and then collect our terms again. Our 12x's cancel. 54 and 16 gives us 70. So that's what our rule's doing. Keep looking at what the rule's supposed to do. You take your denominator, square it. The numerator gets the derivative of that times the bracket of this in the second, minus the numerator times the derivative of the denominator. And then, if we can, we expand it, we collect our terms. So just be careful as you do that. Apply that rule. How you remember it again, it's up to you. But when you see one function divided by another, you have to do the quotient rule.